Oh, dang it. I should have brought some water in here. All right, where is everybody? Hold on, I need to get a water. Hey, how is everybody? Give me 1 second. I'm just going to go get a water. If anybody asks, that's where I'm at. Hello! How are you all? I figured this might be appropriate too. I haven't worn this in a while. We might go for that today. Happy Easter to all of you. Oh, heck. Why are we waiting on this? Let's just do it now, right? Probably helps if you put it on stylistically properly. There we go. I am fantastic. I'm fantastic, but I am. I'm kind of speechless. I did not expect what happened today to happen. Let's work on this. Yeah, that's probably good. Very stylish. Yeah, this was. I found this. I haven't vlogged it yet because I was passing through. It's called South of the Border. It's right on the border of North Carolina and South Carolina. And I just stopped to like check it out. Didn't feel like filming anything. And it was really cool. But they have all these kind of crazy hats and stuff. Thank you, Sean Fitzgerald. Thank you for the super chat. That's very kind of you. We will put that towards Ja's birthday weekend. I have a special trip planned for the Joster and I for his big 8. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for watching the Loveland Castle video. Yeah, John makes friends everywhere he goes. The local dog park is no different. I look like Abe Lincoln. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. Did Abe Lincoln wear Flaming Lips shirts with an eyeball guitar? You like my shirt? I know, it's a good one, huh? That's Wayne with all kinds of crazy stuff coming out of his eyes, and yeah, I couldn't help myself. I'll give like a couple of minutes for people to get in here, and then I'll tell you what happened, because I know it's pretty crazy to think of Ja being 8, isn't it? I remember I just like it was yesterday. I remember walking into that pet store and seeing him standing up, looking at me out of the cage, and just going like, I remember the first thing I thought when I walked in and looked at him, I said, "You're going home with me today." The Mad Hatter, yeah. Well, when I love top hats anyway, but when you see something like this, I just couldn't turn it down. Plus, it's fun. I love wearing these on here. I have a headband with Willie Nelson braids too. Sometimes I wear in here, so. The story of Ja is one of your favorite vlogs. Yeah, that's one of my favorites too, because it's like we've done so much together now. It's almost, other than getting him, it's almost hard to remember those early days. I just always remember struggling, the early days of having him, going like, well, I feel like Ja will be a good luck charm, and he sure was. He certainly is that. He's the best. I don't have him in here because I'm going to be showing you guys something, and I didn't want him to like get involved with it or anything, because if he's up here, he's going to want to be sitting as close to me or on me as possible. That's just a given. By the way, how is everybody? I'm hoping everybody is doing well. You remember when we went to the Wigwam for his birthday? Well, you guys know I love themes, so I worked up a good theme for what we're gonna do. the last couple days I've been watching this show Seven Little Johnstons, and they went somewhere, and I said, you know what, that would be fun to take Jaw. Let's do that. So yeah, I'm happy to see so many familiar faces in here. I see a lot of names that are in a lot of the live streams, a lot of comments and stuff. So you're enjoying your 3-day weekend. Good for you. This is always kind of a rough weekend for me because my dad died on Easter morning, the year that he passed away, which was on the 15th. So, which is also Jackie Robinson Day. So has all kinds of meanings. Thank you, Bella Marie, for the super chat. That was very nice of you. Oh, Carl, I'm sorry to hear you're not doing so well. Cool. Yeah, nice to see everybody tuning in. So this is what ended up happening. So back, I guess it would be like right around the early part or kind of the early part of the pandemic, they started talking about putting out a Steve Keene art book. And like I've done a lot of live streams on Saturday nights with you guys where we've opened up the Steve Keene paintings that he sent. And the kind of the beauty of Steve Keene is that he tries to really make that old saying of like art being affordable for everyone. He kind of tries to put that into motion. And so he's been for decades now been making and producing inexpensive but very cool paintings. And I've known about him probably since the late 90s because a lot of the music that I was into throughout the 90s ended up having their album covers originally done by him. Because he would, when he was getting started out, he would just go find a bar in New York that would allow him to come in and either set up and paint or during like a rock and roll show, just let him sell his paintings for like $1 or $2 out in the lobby. And so, I started showing his paintings in my vlogs because I just, I love his work, always will. And they started talking about doing a book, talking about his story, and they started like compiling, getting photos and asking people that had gotten different stuff over the years to start submitting it and putting it in and everything. And I had went on and became a Kickstarter contributor to that to make sure that it got done. And so I knew that I was getting a book out of the deal. So they contacted me, the guy who's making the book contacted me and said, hey, I really want to send you your book early, but I'm going to give you like a discount code since you have like so many people through your channel bought paintings from Steve. I want to make the book available to like people that watch you a month early before it makes it to Amazon or any of that stuff. So I got the book today, and I'll be danged. The book is beautiful, by the way. It's huge. It's and it's got like pull out, fold out stuff. It's really well done. But to my surprise, when I opened up the book, I don't know how this happened, but I miraculously opened up to a page and looked down, and my name was in the book. And not only was my name in the book, they wrote a whole page about me and about us. And literally the page is about us doing these live streams and showing people the paintings and explaining to people how this is like, you order them and you don't know what you're going to get, and you don't know, you're just kind of like going and trusting that Steve will send you something interesting. And I'll be danged if they didn't put a whole page. I actually could read the whole page if you want to hear about it. But I just thought that was pretty amazing. I did not expect that. I knew that he had mentioned that they wanted to use some of my paintings that I had gotten and everything. But geez, I was not expecting that. And I wouldn't have really even known had I not just literally opened to that page. It was so crazy. Out of almost 300 pages that I would literally open it, and I looked down, it was right here. I just happened to look down and I saw Daze with, and I go, oh my gosh, wow, they mentioned us. And then the whole thing. So Yeah, so the book is amazing. If anybody wants to get it, you can just go to Hat and Beard Press .com, I believe, and look up Steve Keene. But I'll put, after the video, find the link and I'll put it in there. And I'll also, the discount code is just Jordan the Lion. But you can get it early and it's at a discounted price. So everybody's saying to read it. So you know what? Let's go ahead and read what it says, and then I'll show you some of the art and everything throughout it. So it says, he doesn't like to, they're talking about Steve in this one, it says, he doesn't like to be asked for any one particular thing because then there's a chance that you will have envisioned something that you don't get, and therefore you can't be satisfied either way. I think he wants to, in some ways, preempt expectations. Some of Keene's newer fans are discovering his game in a typically 21st century way by watching YouTube unboxing videos. Online personality Jordan Lee maintains a video blog with 214,000 subscribers called Daze with Jordan the Lion. Cheerful road trip videos are his mainstay, such as a journey to the preserved Muncie, Indiana studio of the late painter Bob Ross, who taught the joy of painting on television. In the summer of 2021, Jordan made a vlog in Steve Keene's studio, where the artist allowed him rare access into the cage for a filmed interview. Well before that, however, Jordan ordered Keene's random selections of paintings several times and filmed himself unpacking them. The unboxing video has been a popular online genre for years, wherein is an adult unveils a purchase, a child opens a toy, a viewer feels envy or excitement. The fact that the buyer of Keene's work is himself, surprised by what appears, adds drama, and Jordan is expert at the reveal. Indeed, the regular folks who watch Jordan's videos have caught the Keene bug. They don't seem to be trend spotters or indie band members or art experts. In the live comments, scroll on the side of the screen, they respond to paintings with, "I love it, it's cool," not feeling obliged to offer further analysis. Jordan has repeatedly compared getting Keene's to the feeling of opening a pack of baseball cards. You don't know what's inside. Baseball cards are one of the everyday items to which Keene himself compares his paintings. In a video from November 2020, after struggling with many layers of broken craft paper and tape, Jordan unveils a painting of a pink kitten, a painting of 2 nude figures accompanied by the words Pizza Hut, and even 2 large portraits of himself. He is ecstatic. The commenters go wild. Keene does custom work when he's in the mood, and one of Jordan's subscribers made the request. Jordan also holds 4 separate pieces up to the camera, one at a time, evincing the more lukewarm reaction. He's not quite sure what they are, but I am. They're loose, abstract versions of the 4 Freedoms paintings by Norman Rockwell, with the SK legend scrawled, "No fear, worship, free speech, no want." His commenters point this out, then Jordan is more enthusiastic. The commenters say they love Jordan, they love Steve Keene, they're placing their own orders for art, and in fact, their orders have come in at such a rate that as of this writing, Keene is months behind in fulfilling orders for his website. He doesn't mind though. Demand for his work is an affirmation. I don't even show them my work and people trust me. I like the absurdity of it. If you take away too much mystery, it's kind of flat seeming, kind of regular, Steve Keene says. How about that? How awesome is that? I thought that was pretty freaking cool. Yeah, and Jeff Kidd, I did send you the worship one, so yeah, I thought you would, when I read that, I thought especially Jeff will find that interesting that that's in there. But I thought this was kind of cool. So in here, in the middle of the book, he actually shows how he used to make, he used to paint paintings for bands to make their show flyers for New York shows. And this one was a long poster that he made where the woman is actually upside down. So he did it as a fold out, and the opposite side, I'm going to try and do this without tearing up the book, is a pull out of all of his presidential paintings, which I thought was just incredible. The book is extremely heavy, by the way. Oh man, I'm sorry. It looks like I got some super chats that I missed. Let me see who I owe a thank you to, because I do definitely appreciate it. Donna Stedham, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Let me find some other really good ones. The other cool thing about this, he tracked down people that had the early stuff. So you can see the difference in like the painting style. It wasn't quite as refined. It wasn't quite as detailed. These were some of the early 2000s. But they have a section in here that shows, you know, how Steve will do sometimes. This was awesome, by the way. A Thomas Jefferson Guar show poster. Guar tribute. But they actually track down people. So say how Steve showed us in my video how he paints like maybe 5 or 6 of the same one at the same time. He tracked down where like he got 4 from the same batch, and you can see just how different they all are. Let me find that one. It's actually really good. Oh, here's some of the Beatles stuff. Check this out. Right next to Big Star. Thank you, Karen Tar. Thank you so much. And thank you, MS. Oh, awesome. You just got a Steve Keene last week. Awesome. So it kind of shows you what you can possibly get when he ends up sending stuff. In fact, he had in here somewhere was the Axis Bold as Love, and he sent me one of those. So it's kind of interesting to see what different colors he used. These are the Beach Boys. You have a Beatles painting from him? What's this? One thing they mentioned in here is how he ended up getting his start. Robert Schneider from Apples and Stereo said that when he met Steve, Steve said that he was basically he wanted to be the Johnny Appleseed of painting, where his paintings would just find their way a little bit of everywhere. And so that's what a lot of those band people call him, the Johnny Appleseed of painting. So here's where he's done all 4. They've tracked down the difference in the 4. The Clash, London Calling. So again, if anybody wants to get this book, it's a pretty amazing book. I mean, it's huge. He's got tons of interviews with like a lot of the big bands of the 90s, like Guided by Voices, Cat Power, Pavement. Who else did I see? David Cross. Thank you, Gene Simpson. I appreciate that. I will put the link and everything in the description box that you can get it. Yeah, let me get to some of my favorite ones, because there's so much stuff in here. You know, that's the interesting thing also, is that when you order them, you only kind of know what you got. You know, you only know of the 12 or whatever you got. But these are cool because then you get to see what other people have received, and it kind of makes you want to buy more. Look at all these David Bowie. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, I'd never seen this. Take a look at this. This is his Michael Jackson stuff. I would love to get like Thriller or something like that. How cool is that? Let's see. Physical Graffiti. Thank you, Gene Simpson. Again, that's very generous of you. Yeah, this book's just amazing. Oh, look at the Nirvana stuff. Holy cow. That's amazing. Bleach and in utero. I'm telling you, total, yeah, it's a total honor. Honestly, all pavement. Well, there's Nevermind. That's awesome. But there's pavement right in the corners and Crooked Rain, Crooked Rain. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe when I opened it up and saw that we got mentioned. Because I totally, that, and in my opinion, that was a mention of you guys as well. Because if you guys didn't care, if so many people hadn't seen him on here and bought paintings and told him when they ordered them that they were getting them from watching this, that made a big difference. Because Steve, one of the things he told me, he said, I'm not trying to be a millionaire. I just want to get more. I like to sell the paintings so I can buy more supplies to make more paintings, because then everybody wins. He said, then the shipping company wins because they're making money. The people that I buy my art supplies win because they're making money. I win because I'm making money, and people are getting paintings that I hope that they'll like for very little money. And like he said, he goes, even if they throw some of them away, I hope that they like, at least a couple of them. So, so yeah, I just thought that was what an unexpected surprise today. But if you're looking for the publisher, you can get it off this website, Hat and Beard Press. So there we go. So this thing's getting a little bit hot. Plus, I'm having pretty decent hair. So, any questions? Anybody want to talk about some of the vlogs that I've been posting? I've been going everywhere, so I'm hoping that you guys have been enjoying them. In fact, I have a batch of, I think the next 10, I think you guys are really going to like. There was a lot of stuff that I've wanted to do since I started that I really got to. I just decided, you know what? I'm going to go hit this patch of America that I haven't really gotten to do yet, and did a lot of really cool stuff. Family's good. I'm going to be back in Ohio for the KISS concert, and I was going to treat my grandpa to a game, but he said he didn't think he could do games anymore, so that probably, the last video that I posted with us going to the game, I'm glad that I filmed it, because that's the last game that he said he's going to go to. So, but I've also decided on this coming trip that John and I are taking together, I'm going to finally hit the Baseball Hall of Fame this time. And I'm going to make I actually have some lucky patron. Somebody got mad that I call people on Patreons, but sent a whole message complaining about it. But I decided, since I have someone that signed up for a sunglass vlog, I'm going to do a special one for them that day, because Eric and I are making a special video at the show, before the show together, and Eric had given me a pair of sunglasses one of the times I was at his house. So that person is going to get those sunglasses, and we're going to do it at the KISS show. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Oh, you got musical artists? Cool. Yeah, thank you for those of you that watch Cat's Show. I knew that was going to be a little far out there for some people, but for those of you that watch the videos, I think they are highly entertaining. And I'll tell you, during the, I always premiere the videos so that I can kind of see what people think of the video and everything. And there were a couple of naysayers in there saying, oh, this is all fake, and there's a plant, she has a receiver in her ear. First off, didn't have a receiver in her ear. The people that were helping her do the stuff on stage, first time, they don't work with her every show. What that was she was doing a charity benefit there. The money that from the ticket sales there were going to a local high school, and she knows somebody from that high school who's a teacher, so he did the soundboard, and the local high school football coach was the one who was like catching people to make sure that they you didn't hurt themselves or anything. So that's what those were. And they took me out to dinner the next night, and they had 4 of us around a table. And because one of her friends there was also a mentalist. And this guy goes, okay, all 4 of you, gives us a piece of paper, says, I want you to write down the craziest job that you ever had. So we all sit and write down this crazy job that we had. He said, and I want you to fold up the piece of paper. And he turns around during this. So he's not looking at us. And so we write it down, fold it up, and he says, okay, put it in the champagne glass in the middle of the table, because we were at a restaurant. So we all put him in there. Then he turns around, he picks up the champagne glass with all 4 in it, and then he goes, pulls one out, holds it in his hand, looks at all 4 of us, and then hands it to one of us. Does the same thing, picks it up, looks, holds it, picks it up, looks, holds it, and then for a second he looks and he goes, and then like switches our things, and then says, okay, open them up. And we all opened up exactly what we had put on our paper. So how crazy is that? So then Kat gives me her business card, and she says, okay, I'm going to look away. I want you to write down the name on the card of your first crush. Like the first girl that you can ever remember, being attracted to. Well, the first one I could remember was in kindergarten. There was a girl named Barbie. So I write that down, and I have the card flipped over on the table. She just looks at me for a couple of minutes, or like a couple of seconds, just looks, and she says, I'm seeing blonde. I go, yeah. And she goes, she was a real doll, wasn't she? And then it takes 2 seconds, and I go, yes. And she goes, was she a Barbie? And I was like, holy cow. Like, it was crazy that she would know that this girl in my kindergarten class's name was Barbie. What are the odds? So yeah, if I'm sure there must be a trick to some of that stuff, obviously, if people can learn it, but if there's nothing like anybody's relaying a message or earpiece or any of that stuff. So yeah, she said that I can the next, because she wants me to come out to the house and stay. So we're just trying to figure out when I can, because I just kind of, now that I've been traveling so much with the driving, I kind of enjoy it more and don't want to fly, especially with the mandate of still having to wear a mask and all that stuff. I'm just, I don't mind the driving, and I love stopping at all kinds of different stuff. So for me, it's just kind of like a no-brainer right now. Why do why put myself through the waiting a couple of hours at an airport and all that stuff? Yeah, no camera overhead with an earpiece. Sorry. Plus, in order to even think that, you kind of have to be there to see something to point that out. Have I ever gotten hypnotized? I have not. She didn't want she had to keep it kind of like so nobody thought that it was staged. She asked for people that she had never met before, for one thing. Plus, somebody said, why didn't I participate? Because I couldn't work the camera and be hypnotized at the same time. But yeah, I'm going to go back to Kat and Todd's house, and I'm sure we can film something else there. And she's got some, they're I don't know who this is, but I've kind of just gotten bored with your comments, so. Sometimes I just get tired of negative people. But anyway, yeah, she's friends with some pretty interesting actors that I would love to interview sometime if I could get the chance. But she wants to go to, she wants her and a friend of hers who's a ghost hunter and I to go to that extremely haunted hotel in Arkansas. So we're just going to figure out a time where we can do that. Oops. Yeah, I just get tired of negative people. I look at it this way: if they have, if they have that much negative stuff to say, I mean, I wouldn't have anything in common or want to talk to him anyway, so why let him be on here bringing everybody else down? Oh, you found the famous Wayne interview spot? It's so crazy. I still get text messages from Wayne. That's like, that to me is just one of the coolest things ever. I'll just be, like randomly making coffee or something, and I'll get like a photo or a video text or something. So I do the same thing. When you guys will see in an upcoming video, I went to this really amazing restaurant. What was the name of this place? It was a freaking diner, just unbelievable. And I was sending him photos. He's like, "Where is this? I got to go to this. Where is this?" Yeah, thank you for so many people tuning in. This was like kind of I was thinking yesterday I might do like a live stream and talk, because we hadn't done one of these. And oh, thank you for Jaw's birthday, Lion Mama. Thank you. And thank you, Tanker Man. That's very generous of you both. Thank you. Yeah, I figured I don't think I did a live stream since we posted the interview with Gunner. So I figured a lot of people would want to talk about that. Because, or maybe we have. I don't recall when the last one we did was, but he was really cool. I mean, that was the first time I ever got to interview someone, and we kind of sat down and had a meal and talked, and like got to have a full-on like day of conversation before I got to film it. So when we sat down to film it, I knew exactly what questions I wanted to ask, and I knew exactly what kind of things I wanted to talk about, because we had talked about so much stuff during the day. Yeah, if any of you want to talk to him, I know he does periodically on Fridays, he does like a live Cameo where you can sign up basically for like a Cameo, but you go live like FaceTime with him for 10 minutes. So if you want to ask him questions, I know that's one. Some people loved the video, and then you had your typical naysayers that said, "Oh, there's not enough talk about the haunted stuff. You wasted my time." So there's your opportunity. That was something to wet your whistle. And if you have other questions for yourself, you can go on there, or even send them a message, maybe through Instagram, maybe get a response. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you. Have a happy Easter yourself as well. Yeah, I've already been spoiled by my Easter bunny. She got me all kinds of, she made me like an Easter basket and everything. And that was great because inside she got big plastic eggs so she could put stuff in it. And in each one she wrote a beautiful love note. Thank you, Sheriff. You said, "My wife and I love your content. Keep it real from Calgary." I hope to someday get to Calgary. I would love to see the Heart House. You said Gunner was your favorite vlogs thus far. I thought he's a great talker, and he was pretty no nonsense. I wish we, I hate to say I wish we had more time, because we filmed for, I think the video itself is like close to 50 minutes, but we filmed for 35 minutes, and the reason that we had to cut it was because he had to we had to cut it short was because they were going on stage. Well, that's another thing, when I was talking to Gunner, I was able to kind of mention that, when I would ask him questions about his dad's passing and things like that, I'd say, just so you know, like my dad died when I was 8. So I totally, I'm coming from it, from kind of the same, because they just have a different perspective. I think a lot of the people that watch my channel, we're more of the kind of people that, thank you. Is that Benny Loco? Thank you. I think we're more the kind of people that want to see memorials for people that have passed and things like that. But the Nelson brothers, I got the very distinct impression that they're the kind of people that we want to honor his life. We don't want to honor his death. That's not, so I can understand that. But I just, me, being someone who, I just didn't want him to think I was coming at it from like a YouTuber's perspective of like, hey, we all want to go visit it, and I need to go film, those kind of superficial things. I was interested because some people wouldn't want to, even keep, like, if their dad passed or something, some people wouldn't want to keep any of their clothes, and they would go donate everything to a Goodwill or something. Whereas, there's some people that would want to keep everything. So that's why I ask. Let me see. Thank you again, Sheriff. Have I been to Tombstone? I have. John and I went to Tombstone together. We actually, there's a video on Josh's channel from Tombstone and one on mine. Thank you, Robin Kennedy, for the super chat also, and Angela Diplock, thank you. Nope, not going to Elvis Week this year. I like to keep things special, and I feel like if I went every year, it wouldn't feel special. So we're not going to go this year. We're going to do some other stuff. I did already book reservations for to go to Groundhog Day, so I will be there for the fireworks and everything. If anybody lives in Punxsutawney, come find me at 3 a.m. Thank you, Susan Gordon. You said blessings to you and Ja during the Easter weekend. Thank you. You said your vlogs never disappoint. Keep on traveling. We definitely are. We have a lot of places, especially in probably the next month. We're going to be gone most all of the time. Would I like to interview Tracy and Sam Nelson? No, I don't think so. I don't want to overdo, I'll let somebody else do that. For one thing, like Gunnar said, he's like, Sam didn't know my dad. Sam was so young, he didn't know my dad. So I'm not sure. I think in talking to Sam, I would just get a different perspective of someone who didn't grow up with Rick. But no, I just think that was one of those, I just kind of feel like since I've been doing this channel, a lot of things just kind of happen for a reason. And when we were at Clear Lake for the memorial for Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and Big Bopper, it was just one of those odd things that I happened to see Gunnar walking by to do something. Normally they're backstage or whatever. Just happened to see him and just went up and said, hey, I don't want to like distract you or anything because I know you're getting ready to perform, but would you ever be up for talking to me? I have a YouTube channel about your dad's haunted house and the Errol Flynn house. And he just goes, oh, absolutely, totally. He said, give me your phone number and we'll figure out something. So then when I looked at their schedule and saw where they were going to be, and Adam the Woo was going to be doing the Strawberry Festival, and he lives in Florida and everything, it just worked out that I could go 2 days in a row and hang out with Adam one day and hang out with Gunnar the next day. Thank you, Sheriff. You said, love your shows on Buster Keaton. Is his Italian villa still in LA? The one is not. One of them is, well, I think it is, but I think it's been kind of redone. And the one that he lived in with the Talmadges, that is still there. But I don't recall if the one that he lived in the Valley, if that is still all original. I'm not 100% positive. The one that, the last home that he lived in, that's gone. I went and vlogged that as they were, like I showed up and they were tearing it down, so. And I saw that they are officially tearing down the Viper Room. They're changing the, what's it called? Tower Records. They had that building where the original Tower Records was, and then it became like a tribute store kind of. But I guess the brand Superior is going to take over that space, and they wanted to get rid of the Tower Records stuff altogether. But I guess Tower had talked to them and said, like, hey, can we put like a listening booth or something of Tower in there to keep the Tower name as part of that building. And I guess they just couldn't work out an agreement of, how involved Tower would have their name. So they're just not going to have any of it at all. Thank you, Charlie Layton. You said, I love all your vlogs. My favorite are your classical Hollywood ones and your pro wrestling ones. Thank you. Yeah, I love doing the pro wrestling ones. I mean, I lived in Hollywood so long, a lot of those were places I had been a lot of times, but just so much has changed. I mean, I got a video from Scott Michaels yesterday driving up my street, and it was all homeless tents. Is Ernest Tubb officially closed, or are you just saying that they announced they're closing? Because the last time I went there, it was their hours weren't the same, but they did open for a couple hours a day. Spoiler alert, that's what the video is about tomorrow. Ernest Tubb, I got there before it closed. And if any of you are like, what's Ernest Tubb? Watch the video. It's a pretty cool place. What's the story on the Nixon and Shelley house? I made a video about it. Go watch the video. That's why I make the videos. Trying to get people to watch them. No, it's not the progressive movement. It's people that have money buying houses, and they see that the houses were not made to last, and they want to rebuild the house, but they want to tear it down and make it something different. So that's, or the property. That's what a lot of it is. It's, they just want to redo it. Sadly, most of the people that have money in Los Angeles, they're not from Los Angeles. So a lot of that history means nothing to them. And, that's the way it works in the real world. Is if you have money, you can buy stuff. And if they don't designate it a historical monument, then you can change it, or you can tear it down, or you can do whatever you want. And that's, in that town, that's what they do. It's, I was just telling, thank you, Sheriff. You love the Liberace content. I was just telling my girlfriend, I totally foresee Palm Springs probably at some point going the way of Hollywood, where just all the people that appreciate it will kind of like get older and die off. And the whole purpose of like Palm Springs, as I understood it early on, was it was a retreat for a lot of the Hollywood elite, that they were contractually obligated to be within a certain mileage or a certain distance to the studio if they were called in. And Palm Springs was like a secluded place they could do that. But I don't know that that's a real destination for the same type of people. So I would totally expect the houses at some point to people start tearing those down and redoing those. And, it's kind of the same way Vegas is, Vegas is not the Vegas of the 60s and 70s, so. But I mean, that's, I guess you just can't always assume that everything will always be the same. And that's, a lot of the reason why I vlog the stuff that I do is because I know anything could happen at any time that it will change. So, I filmed the stuff, and then hopefully at some point, if, I think it was just yesterday, it like came up in my phone feed reminding me that 3 years before that was when a Notre Dame burned down, and I had filmed that. And I remember when I filmed and posted that video, almost nobody watched the video, but inside the Notre Dame was Christ's crown of thorns. And as soon as the place burned down, everybody went to my video because I was the only one that bothered to ever go inside and film it inside. Everybody else that had posted videos only ever showed the outside. And then people are like, oh my gosh, that's the crown of thorns. I mean, to me, that was a monumental moment in my life, seeing the crown of thorns. And thank you so many people for making super chats and tuning in on a Saturday. And thank you to my girlfriend for giving me she knows I like to do these alone and everything, so she gives me the time to come in here and hang out with you guys, and I'm not rude then. Yeah, coming up, I went to Delaware for a little bit, and I finally made it to Baltimore, so there will be a lot of stuff that's coming up. A lot of really cool stuff that I got to see. Yeah, and happy Easter to everybody also, especially if you're spending it alone, or like me, like it's traditionally not my favorite holiday because of losing, someone so close to me on that day. But, it's any time that you can celebrate with people that you love and stuff is important. So thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. You said Notre Dame was one of your favorites. Yeah, that's my goal for next year. My goal for 2023 is to do more international traveling again. I just kind of keep hoping that things will, I just, with wars breaking out and mandates and so much stuff. I don't know. Right now, I just feel safer in my car, but that won't always be the case. I am still hoping to go see Kiss in Italy this summer, so I still might do that. Thank you, Desi, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's very nice of you, Madison. I appreciate that. I never know when I turn on to do these, whether anybody will watch or not. Do I have any videos on the Amish? Amish people don't like to be filmed. I found that out the hard way. Didn't know that one. But I did find that out when I was in Ohio. You can go watch, I was making a vlog on Cy Young, and in the distance I saw a horse and buggy coming. I had my camera filming, and as they got closer, they noticed what I was doing, and they went like that, and then I was like, oh, so I put the camera down, and then like just as they were taking their hand down, the lady looks at me and goes like that, and I was like, oh, that must be a no-no. Yeah, I wasn't keen on that stuff yet. I hadn't been watching Return to Amish yet, so I didn't know really what the protocol was. Yes, absolutely. I will get into where's she at? Corpus Christi. I will go and do a vlog on Selena. Yeah. Yeah, my girlfriend, she loves Selena too, so I know that she would love. There's so much to do in there's so much in Corpus Christi as far as connected to her. I think that's something I could definitely do multiple trips. Oh, really? You said the Amish in Mexico didn't want to be filmed either? I didn't know. I didn't know that reached Mexico. I didn't know how far. I didn't know if that was just American religion or how that worked. I did read because I wanted to drive by and see where where Mary Schmucker's farm from Return to Amish was, and it looks like from what I read online, they had to move out of there. They had to move away because her husband was being shunned so bad he couldn't get like enough work, so they moved to Tennessee. That crazy. Yeah, oh, and it's been really cool. I think, Robin, you're still in here. Robin, you've been commenting on all the Sweden videos. It's so cool to see people going back and finding a lot of the early travel videos that I did that, when I was getting like 200 or 2,000 views or 1,000 views on a video or whatever. A lot of those videos are buried, but people have been finding them and commenting on them recently, so... I've made videos in Australia, but I don't have any plans to go back at the moment. Don't know when I would do an Abe Vigoda video, because the next time I go back to Chicago, there's another Shel Silverstein video I want to make, so I'll probably be doing that in that area. Well, it's funny, you said you've been trying to play catch up with my videos. When I started this, I remember I was probably maybe 100 days in, and I remember Breck saying, I love that you're doing this now. My only regret is that you didn't start doing it much earlier so I'd have more stuff to watch. And I remember saying, yeah, well, when I'm 5 years in, if I can keep with this, think of how many videos there'll be to watch then, and now we're there. I never really thought that would happen. Thank you again, Desi. That's very generous of you. Thank you. Yeah, I saw Adams in Chicago also. No, I don't know who Nelson Sullivan is. Never heard of him. Dig your shirt. Thank you. Yeah, it's Wayne Coyne from the... I'll show you. It's Wayne Coyne from the Flaming Lips. With an eyeball guitar. Also, in my opinion, one of my best videos ever was getting to interview him. Were there tents by my place in California? Total, the whole place. Let's put it this way. Right directly across the street from me was a gigantic, it was like an old Hollywood hotel that now is owned by Scientology, and it's for their celebrities. It's called the Celebrity Center, and they keep that, like that takes up the whole block. They keep that nice, but everything that they don't own is tents. And I don't know if this is true, but I was listening to a podcast recently from someone who lives there, and he was saying that a lot of those tents aren't even homeless people anymore. They're drug fronts. They're little places where people can pop off and buy their drugs. So it's scary to think that it's going to be that accessible. Thank you again, Desi. I appreciate that. You said think of how many people have retraced my trip for the holidays. I think of that a lot when I see somebody comment that they went somewhere or that they were going there soon because of the video. I always think of that. I'm like, how cool is that? I wonder how many people like things have changed in their life. Maybe they went somewhere they would have never went because of the videos. Because I always think of that old adage of like a life well lived is reaching as many people in your lifetime as you can in a good way. So I feel like this is the best way I can do that without ever, putting myself in danger or making it uncomfortable for myself. But it's fun to like go get to have a great experience and film it and then share it with people on here that then in turn want to go have that experience with their family. No, I would not do a video on Madonna. I'm sorry. I was never a Madonna fan. Thank you, Movie Dog. You said, love all your videos. Love how you greet us in the beginning of every video. Thank you. And thank you, Sheriff. You said, went to school with Tom Cruise early in the 70s. Very cool. What was he like then? I imagine, everybody's brain must change when when you go from one place and, look at Elvis. That's a prime example. Everybody, nobody could possibly be the same person completely when they start and the way they end. The experiences and all that stuff change you. But I often wonder what was he really like? How different was he when he was filming The Outsiders compared to like the way he is being around someone when he films now? Thank you, Desi. No, Doug, I would never vlog Pastor Bob Joyce. I think that is like, I don't see that at all. I don't think he sounds like him. I don't think I think that's, if you want my honest opinion, that's a lot of hopeful people wishing something, but I mean, I saw somebody at Dollywood with Carpetbagger that looked more like, or was more convincing than Bob Joyce is to me. That's my personal opinion. And honestly, I think it's a slap in the face to the people that love Elvis that people think that they would lie about it for all this time. That's just my opinion, though, personally. I just can't imagine, everybody that knew him keeping up that lie, getting that emotional about it when they talk about him. I can't imagine him feeling the need to ever go that route anyway. You love the Flaming Lips vlog? Thank you. Yeah, I know basically like most people that subscribe to me really want to see just old Hollywood and cemeteries, but if that's all I did, I'd be bored out of my mind, so I just can't do that. Plus, I vlog the stuff that I'm interested in, and I know a lot of times it may take a year or two for other people to find the videos, but it's worth it to me when one person says, oh my gosh, I love the Flaming Lips. This was the coolest video, getting to see you interview him. Or, somebody seeing Empire Records and going, oh, I love this. I can't believe this was filmed in North Carolina. I'm going to, that makes it way more worth it to me than, doing a video that, literally 40 other people have done. Ever plan on doing anything on Ellis Island? I probably will, because I was always fascinated by that in history class, the story of Ellis Island. You said you were at his house when the spaghetti fire happened. Interesting. Same with that. You said same with Ed Malls. Yeah, I was just never. Dan Bell does that. I know other. Yeah, I know other people do that. It's just, I don't know. For me, my channel to me is not about how much money I can make or how many views I can get. It really to me is like, I want to have the coolest channel, and the only gauge on how cool it is me. So that's like. So when I post stuff that I know isn't going to get a lot of views, I'm still like, yeah, but I know that if I hadn't done this, this is what I'd be looking for. These are the video Graham Parsons videos or Flaming. Those are what I'm looking for. Big Star. That's what I'm looking for. So, that's what I want to. I just think it keeps it more honest when you do stuff that you really care about, as opposed to everything sensational. Even the George Stinney vlog was like, I remember reading about that when they overturned it, or reading about the story, and just like, I'm like, that's like, I want to share that. That's something people got to know about. What do I think about all the craziness going on in the United States? I think it's crazy. I think it's insane. I mean, everything has just gotten so out of hand. I'm to the point now where I'm like, I really don't have an opinion on it anymore. I just live the life that is close. I live my life as close to the way as I want to live my life. And I feel like that's like the best thing you can do, because, politics is crazy. People's opinions are crazy. What people think should not be allowed is crazy. What people think should be allowed is crazy. Eric Singer and I were talking on the phone, and we were saying today, it's like, the problem really is so many people are just, they've got it in their head that, and I was telling him, I think it's cell phones. Like, people have got it in their head that, like, this is my world, and I don't want certain things in my world, and I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that they don't pop up on my feeds, or, and to me, I'm just like, I just don't understand the fight. I don't understand like everything like being a battle. So for a lot of the stuff that people talk about, I honestly don't have an opinion, because to me it's not really, it doesn't affect me or my life. I can't even count how many times people left a comment about like, what do you think of the Will Smith? I don't care. It doesn't really matter to me that much. Like, it didn't matter to me in any way. Like, even though I'm somebody who's like all for, I think comedians on a stage pretty much should be able to say anything that they want. And if somebody in the crowd doesn't like it, they should get up and walk away. But I think that's like the one place that anything, but as far as like, how do I think somebody should be punished? I don't care. I don't care. Haven't made it to Kansas City, but I definitely want to. If nothing else, I want to go to a Royals game. I want to see that awesome park. They have a waterfall in their park. You think comedians have it hard these days? I think it's hard to be funny these days. And it's getting harder. Because so much stuff so much comedy has already been oversaturated. And then on top of that, you're like making lists of what people can and can't talk about. Well, cancel culture only works if people let it work. You know, that's the truth. Nobody gets canceled that you don't let you know. Roseanne is all, like, doing what I said when she got canceled from, like, they kicked her off her show. First thing that I said was, if she were on YouTube, that wouldn't happen because her fans would have been the ones to get to decide whether or not they want to keep watching her or not. Well, lo and behold, now she's doing YouTube. So, I mean, it's if people fall in line with deciding, Louis C.K. won a Grammy. So, I mean, I didn't even know that, but I pretty much guessed it when I went on my Twitter and saw some girl, ranting and raving about how it makes her sick to see Louis C.K. doing this and this and this. I said, well, then don't watch him do it. Like, I don't follow his career, so I didn't even know he had a new comedy special out. But I think sometimes people are just, people want to tear someone else down because that's their way of making themselves feel better. And I think that's just, I think specifically our culture is now definitely, they want to build people up and tear them down. You want to see people become successful as an actor, a musician, or whatever it is. But then, like, it's also really captivating to watch and hope that they live this, Epstein-esque lifestyle where they're flying around on planes living an alternate lifestyle that we can now peel apart and find out about. I think we're like the nosiest culture we've ever been. Gary, that's a great question. You said, does Foster Brooks have a grave? It seems like I looked it up before, and it seems like he did. It seems like he did, but I think I want to say, I'll have to look into that. I want to say that it was like somewhere where I didn't go very often. Like, it must have been somewhere in California, but like San Diego or like Orange County, somewhere I didn't go very often, because I remember whenever I saw it, I was like, I don't know if I'll ever do that one. Though I love it. I love Foster Brooks. I think he was hilarious. Even though from what I understand, a lot of that was like he wasn't really drunk. They say he wasn't drunk and neither was Dean, but they could really, make you think it. Yeah, I will go to Asbury Park. I knew somebody that lived in Asbury Park, so I might go and visit him. And the Stone Pony, absolutely. I remember in the early 2000s they were talking about tearing down the Stone Pony, so. Did you enjoy Williams, Arizona? I don't remember Williams, Arizona. I don't know if I ever went there, honestly. I don't think I did. Yeah, I think Williams, Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that up northern, like Sedona area? I don't think I ever did that. Would I ever go to South America, like Brazil, Peru? Yeah, probably. Maybe. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, all I can tell you is there's just certain places that have an appeal to me. So those are the ones that I'm drawn to. Mainly like Europe, and I really love Mexico. So it's, I would like to say that since I like so much of everything I've done in Mexico, that I would probably like South America. But then again, I watched enough 90 Day Fiance to know there's a lot about South America I probably wouldn't like. So not sure. We'll just have to see how the wind blows on that one. Vlog Route 66. I will at some point. I was thinking about that. Maybe doing that this summer or something like that. But the problem is I don't want to take Job because I want to, I would love to take him, but because I think we'd have fun doing it. It's funny, he loves traveling with me. I picked him up yesterday, looked right in his eyes, and I said, do you want to go on a trip? And he just like jumped and started licking my face. But I don't want to do it with him because all the great motels and the cool, like, kitschy places you want to stay, almost all of them are no dog allowed. So I feel like if I were going to go vlog it and enjoy it as like my first time doing it, I'd really like to be able to, like, be driving all of a sudden see a place and go, hey, I think I want to stay there tonight. Yeah, I wasn't really a Springsteen fan, so I don't know that I would. I don't. I mean, other than mentioning this that Springsteen played at Stone Pony, I don't think I would do much on him. Just what his music never really like did much for me. Oh, you were just in Mexico a few weeks ago. What part of it? What part did you go to? You said the Grammys suck. My son is a guitarist in Slipknot, and they failed to even mention Joey, a great drummer in Memorial. I heard a lot of people complaining about that. That there were a handful of people that they thought should have been mentioned in the memoriams that were not. I mean, I just wouldn't even think about that kind of stuff because all the bands that I like would never be up for a Grammy anyway. So, I mean, I remember when I was I guess I was probably 15, I got a job at a restaurant, and I was talking to the cooks one day, and I remember one of the cooks saying, "Someday, my friend, you'll see that the best music is independent music, and that if you had a choice of listening to mainstream music or independent, I bet as you get older, you'll like independent music more." And once I'd say I hit my junior year, he was totally right. I would much rather listen to, for me anyway, I would listen to Flaming Lips, Pavement, Built to Spill, Modest Mouse, Neutral Milk Hotel, Apples in Stereo, um, Possum Dixon, um, Smog. I would Brainiac, that kind of stuff. I didn't even know what was on the radio. So fast forward to Super Bowl this year, and like my sister saying, "Oh man, that an amazing Super Bowl show? Like I loved all that." So I was like, I didn't know any of it. I didn't listen to any of that stuff, so I didn't know any of those songs. I didn't know like yeah, it just was. I was like, yeah, it was all right, but just wasn't my thing. No, never liked Black Label Society, but I liked Ozzy. Oh, Not a Surf. Yeah, I like Not a Surf too. In fact, the lead guitar player, Guided by Voices, plays with Not a Surf sometimes, or has. I don't know if he still does, but he did for a long time. Hello in New Zealand. I do need to make it there. We need to go and do the filming locations for Dead Alive. That would be awesome. If there's anything left. Yeah, I know some people loved the Super Bowl show and some people hated it. So, like I said, I just didn't. I was not listening to that stuff at the time, so it just didn't. I didn't have any frame of reference, and the people that I hung out with in high school didn't listen to it either. We were listening to, the closest I think we were getting when I was in high school to listening to anything mainstream was like Weezer. The Misfits weren't mainstream, so I couldn't even say that. Yeah, it was probably just Weezer. That was like the only thing. And even during that time, Weezer was like on hiatus, so we were kind of, people loved it because it was the throwbacks, hearing stuff from Weezer, but they didn't come out with new music for like another year or two. Yeah, I was out on the motorcycle yesterday. Hello in Pittsburgh. I'll be there again soon. No, didn't like Night Ranger. I like a song here and there, but they didn't really do it much for me. I've done some filming locations for Easy Rider. I don't think I would ever do a complete video though. But I went out there where they have their camp out and stuff. I vlogged that. That's in, is that New Mexico or Arizona? It's somewhere near the Grand Canyon. You met Danzig? I met Danzig too. I've met Danzig a couple of times. I'll tell you, between you and I sold Danzig porn when I worked at Tower Records. Because I worked at the Tower on Hollywood Boulevard. They opened a Tower, it was called the Tower Outlet Store. and they would basically buy up other stores that were going out of business. And so they basically in this store had, like, as all video stores, we sold shirts, CDs, and VHS tapes. We didn't even really have that many DVDs at the time, but he came in there one day, and it was funny because that week we called it Celebrity Week because he was the end of the week, but the very first person that came in that week was RuPaul, but not in drag. And so one of my coworkers had long blonde hair. He kind of looked like Nelson, as a matter of fact. And he walks up to me and goes, "That guy over there just walked up to me and said, does the carpet match the drapes?" I go, "What's that mean?" And he like explained. I go, "Oh, I never heard that before." And then when it walks up, he goes, "You know who that is?" He goes, "That's RuPaul." And so when the person came to pay, sure enough, like, yeah, it was RuPaul. And then 2 days later, we got Lamar from Revenge of the Nerds came in there. Larry, what's his name? He was also in Karate Kid, but yeah, he played Lamar. And then a couple days later, Danzig was in there, and Danzig was. I'll never forget my coworker walking up to me, goes, "Hey, Danzig's back there thumbing through the pornos." It's just such an odd way of saying it. Yeah, that was my first year in Hollywood. That was when I was moonlighting. I worked at the Tower Records in the like from like 6 onward, and before that I would go to music school during the day. I liked some Pantera because when I moved to Hollywood, my friend Michael, he was really into Pantera. So it wasn't something that I grew up listening to. It was more aggressive than I liked my heavy metal, but because of hanging out with Michael and his roommate, they both were more into metal at that time, and we listened to it. Yeah, there you go, Ruth. You said Larry B. Scott. That's who it was. He's a really nice guy. They all were. They were all nice. Danzig was just, I got the feeling that he tried to be kind of like off-putting, or he tried to be intimidating, but he's real short. He's only like 5'3", 5'4", something like that. No plans to vlog anything with Adam. I don't really make plans to like meet up with other vloggers, really. That's not really the kind of vlogging I like to do, because I don't, it's, when I vlog, I'm trying to focus and kind of do something with historical merit. And when I vlog with other people, I feel like it's more of people like hamming it up and, trying to make like a funnier video and stuff like that. Plus, I can't really focus the same way when I'm hanging out with somebody and having conversations all day and then trying to like jump into vlog mode. I don't do, there's like Scott Michaels, I can do that with, and my girlfriend, I can, talk about nonsense with them and then get right back in the zone, because they know like how I operate. They know if I get quiet that I'm running it in my head, how I'm going to do it. And what kind of metal did I listen to? I liked I guess like Metallica, but I got into like the Black Album, so a lot of people wouldn't even consider that real Metallica. But I liked that, and I liked, like Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. So, what was the other one? Judas Priest. I like Judas Priest. No, never got. I like Typo Negative. Never got into Ministry though. But yeah, I like Typo. I like Danzig. Especially the first 4 Danzig albums. I thought all 4 of those were really good. Not all the way through. There were some misses there, but like for the most part, like Danzig 4 and Danzig 2 especially. But on Danzig 3, that song Sistenos, I used to listen to that on repeat. I still think that's just like that's a song that Johnny Cash or somebody like that should have done when Rick Rubin was like having, people do, he was making records with like these historic guys and picking great songs. That would have been a great one. Would have been Sistenos. No, my sister was into Nine Inch Nails, but I never was. I tried to contact Hacksaw to do a vlog with them. I couldn't get a response, so Thank you, Sheriff. You said, how much is Vincent Price art collection? I don't know. Because he was kind of, I'm not sure what they did with all that. I think he wanted all of his art donated to that college because he wanted it to be for like kids that didn't grow up with art to actually get real art in front of them. And he also wanted them to be able to touch it too, so I know, yeah, Danzig did put out an Elvis cover record. From what I heard of it, it was good. I had, a couple years ago, I had heard one of his records, and I was like, the voice just wasn't there anymore. So I had kind of like given up hope that he could make good records still, but I heard that, and I know he's out touring it too. I've never seen Meet Me in St. Louis. I need to watch that one. I definitely will, though. Thank you, Dixie. Let me see. You said, happy birthday, Ja. Loving all the videos. I watch you, Adam, and Jacob every morning. I still go back and watch the older videos. I miss Ja going to the dog parks. I know. I know, but, at some point you have to change things up. And I just, for probably like 3.5 years, I always started the video taking Ja to the park. I just kind of felt like at some point I had to, get a little bit more to the point and move along. I'm sure the videos will change, again in some way. You said, thanks for getting me. Oh, Mr. Snazzy, thank you for the super chat. You said, thanks for getting me into Buddy Holly. You got me interested in him and I'm hooked. That is, okay, so that right there, that's kind of how I explained to Gunnar why I was asking him about the memorial, about whether they would ever do a memorial or be a part of like a memorial, because he was kind of saying like, look, we want to celebrate his life, not his death. So we don't want to see like parts of the plane that he went down in, stuff like that. But what I was saying was, I go, as odd as it is, I just feel like for some reason people connect with that kind of stuff. And I said the reason, probably that I became a Buddy Holly fan was because one day I just woke up on a Sunday and turned on the TV and it just happened to be showing the Buddy Holly story. And I heard the music and I loved the music and the story stuck with me and it just, it made an impression on me. I said, I think sometimes that's why, why I vlog those kind of stories is not to capitalize on anybody's death, but I think it just makes sometimes people that may not have known any music by Ricky Nelson, maybe they couldn't name one song. If they saw that video, that something changed inside them where they say, you know what, I'm going to go to my Spotify and listen to Ricky and see if I like it today. Or anybody, Big Bopper, or anybody that anybody that I vlog. I always hope that people will go and check out their stuff as a byproduct of watching it. Sparkle Horse, stuff like that. I know that somebody commented and said like some of his family weren't happy that I was like showing where he lived or where he was buried and stuff. It's like, I'm trying to make his memory live on. They stopped, from what I understand, like tribute albums from coming out and things like that. So it's like they may have a point of view of how they want him to be remembered, but I don't think that you get to tell the fans how they want to remember him. So for that reason, that's why I made those. No, Nelson did not sing After the Rain, even though I made that joke, because when they finished their sound check, it started sprinkling outside, and they said, you may have to work up After the Rain for tonight. But he told me before the show, I said, because they had played Love and Affection during sound check like I filmed, and I said, you going to play that tonight? And he goes, yeah, we're going to do like probably a verse and a chorus of it, and then we'll go into something else. So was I a fan of Bob Kulick? That's hard to answer, because I heard more Bob Kulick stories than I heard his music, and the stories that I heard just He just never sounded like a guy that was easy to be around very often. I'm not even. I mean, I know he played on Kiss stuff. I wouldn't be able to tell you what songs they were. Thank you, Sophia. That's very generous of you. Thank you. Is that Corvell? Sophia Corvell? Thank you. Yeah, they are. They made that joke, actually. Nelson made that joke during their show. They said, we always have somebody that says, oh, your uncle's Mark Harmon. Yeah, we'll sell you his phone number right after the show. Thanks, Uncle Mark. That's also, Carla, that's also one of the reasons I love vlogging this kind of stuff is, like you said, you can't afford to go anywhere. So sometimes when you watch me, you feel like you're there. Before I was doing this, I couldn't afford to go, do that much stuff. That's why I started filming stuff that was close by, because I figured, well, maybe this will be a treat, even though I see it all the time. Maybe it'll be a treat for someone else. Maybe they'll feel like, oh, like they're on a virtual trip, so. I do know Bruce Kulick, yeah. But it's pretty widely known that Bruce and Bob had a lot of issues also. So. Somebody else said, are you a Vinnie Vincent fan? No. I've heard too many stories about him also, and the fact that the last couple of videos I saw him, he can't really, I didn't think he could play very good guitar anymore. Thank you. Yeah, thank you to everybody that hit the like button also. I've done vlogs on David Bowie, especially when I was in Australia. Are the items from Ike and Tina Turner's house worth anything? I don't know. I don't sell anything. I don't really. Ever since I started doing this channel, I've just become one of those people that I don't. If I have something and I don't want it, I try and find somebody in my life that would appreciate it. I just give it to them. So I don't know. I don't know what that kind of stuff is worth. In fact, well, that's one of the things I kind of love about doing this now too, is that I don't have to ever feel like I need to sell stuff, or like I never come on here pitching my t-shirts or stuff like that, because it's like it's nice to not be in that stage in life where you feel like you have to be marketing yourself and always. When you start calling yourself the brand, which I hear comedians that I know saying that, they don't want to damage their brand. I mean, it's laughable that they view themselves that way, but you saw the Elvis honeymoon house thanks to my vlogs. Thank you. Yes, it did sell. I know it was for sale. The last time we went, they told us it was for sale, and that they were going to redo a lot of it. So also good thing that I got to go there and photograph it twice. I appreciate that. You said I'm one of the few that you'll watch even if you don't know the subject. Thank you. Trust me, I would not post a video if I didn't think it was entertaining. That's the truth. I've probably done 2 or 3 videos that when I came home and started editing it, I was probably like 5 minutes in and I go, I'm not into editing this, so if I'm not into editing it, this just is not coming across in video form the way I was hoping. And I just delete it. And Adam's the same way. I've been with Adam when he's filmed something and then just said, you know what? I'm like, we'd be walking home when we lived in Hollywood. We'd go film something together, or we'd like find out about some street festival or something. We'd go film, and then we'd be walking back and he'd go, you know what? I think I'm just gonna delete it, because I feel that way. Like if it's not entertaining me, I certainly don't want to field questions about something I feel boring. That's just a little bit of a standard. I think somebody's going to live in it, so I don't know how much of it, the Elvis house, it would still be. The way it was before, you could tour it, but if somebody's redoing it, they're clearly going to live in it. I would assume the outside will stay the same, but when I was there, I was asking some questions, and basically what they were telling me was that the house really had not been kept up, and that since it was a display model early on and it's in Palm Springs, it was never insulated. So it's not like a house that was meant to be lived in year round, especially during the cold times. So. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mary. You said for Josh's trip. Thank you so much. He will appreciate that. Yeah, Ja is a cutie. He really is. Smart beyond belief. The words that he understands and the ways that he answers me for things is just, it's too funny. I'm very fortunate to have him. Yeah, he still goes to the dog park every day. I've done Larry Bird videos. Thank you. Like the Jim Croce video? Thank you. I'm gonna go back there when they have all the lights up and stuff. I'm gonna meet Joanna out there, so yeah, yeah, happy birthday, Selena. No, I have not made it out there. I had a trip planned and I was supposed to go out there and then it got canceled and I never went. So I always just assume, when something like that happens, and there's a reason, and then I will eventually get there at some point. So I never, I figured at the time that it happened, I would just get back there with somebody else or some other time. And like I said, my girlfriend loves Selena, so hopefully we'll get back there at one of the trips together. Yeah, it's crazy to think that she would have been 51 because of just how young. I don't know. I don't miss Hollywood. Hell no. I just can't imagine. I mean, 20 plus years anywhere. I just can't. No, I can't imagine anybody missing any place they live for 20 years. To me, it's like I was just so ready to see something new. Plus, it's not the way it was. I saw the other day somebody commented, "Oh, Hollywood's not." I moved away from there in 2005. It wasn't as bad as you say. I'm like, yeah, well, I moved away in 2021, so that's a count them 16-year difference in what happened in the city in 16 years. So, the truth is, I think a lot of people that watch me that wouldn't watch me when I moved, I think they all love the idea of living in Hollywood as long as they don't have to be the one living in Hollywood. If you had to pay the price that it costs to live there, put up with the ridiculous rules that they have there, and smell urine all over every street, everywhere you go, I think you would feel the same way that I did, especially when you lived there for 20 plus years and you didn't have, I think a lot of people that live there don't have a choice at this point. They like financially or physically are not able to make a move. And so they're stuck. And that sucks for them. That really does. But that's every day I get some comment from some, "Oh, I wish you were still in Hollywood." Well, you're free to move there. But, I constantly also get comments, people saying, "Hey, my family and I just went there. Boy, you are right. I would not want to live there. It was pretty cool for a couple of days, but boy, I was glad to get back to my home." I mean, it's different. Like I said, Scott sent me a video yesterday. He must have been there and filmed literally driving right up where I used to park, and there was not one car. Nobody has the guts to park there anymore because it's just all tents, all of it. The whole sidewalk, tent, 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 tent. Thank you, Desiree. Yeah, that's just the truth. I just tell you the truth because I personally would not take my family there on a vacation. Not now. Like maybe if they clean it up in the future or something, but that's not the way. This is not the way you want to see it. It's like third world right now. Like it's not. That's not. And I know that's the case because my friends that are still there are stuck there because of either having a child with someone who is also there and they're not able to move. They all say the same thing. Like, dude, you have no idea how much worse it's gotten in my neighborhood before you left, you know. So it's I guess they just need a whole overhaul of people running it, you know. It's been allowed to get out of hand, or it's been forced to get out of hand, and now the solution is insane, because they're building like homeless houses, like homeless like apartment buildings, but I've seen reports that they cost like multiple millions. They almost cost more than, you know, like what it would cost like for to open new homeless shelters and stuff. So it's like it's insane. What are my thoughts on many legends passing planes? Why do you think every time I talk to Eric Singer, I'm like, hey, dude, be safe. Be safe. Because I know. I mean, he like him, he just lost a friend of his, Taylor, from Foo Fighters. It's like, I mean, not in a plane, but I mean, we're getting to that point where you just never know when you leave, if you're coming home or not. Thank you, Nikki. And yes, I think about that constantly. Like how many vlogs or how many future vlogs I have planned that involve an airplane. Most of them. Even when you don't even remember it. And you're like, wait a minute, how did so-and-so die? All that. You look it up, always a plane. Always. How did Payne Stewart die? Plane. How did, what's her name? Aaliyah? Plane. Or who was it? There was a Latino lady. Was it like Gina Paula? I forget her name. Like it's always an airplane. So somebody that I'm friends with here actually was Jenny Rivera. Yeah. Well, was hers a plane though? Somebody was leaving. Who was it leaving Puerto Rico? Somebody was leaving Puerto Rico and had, who was it? Yeah, Roy Halladay. That one was one. Patsy Cline for sure. Oh, I just can't remember who it was. Yeah, Roberto Clemente. Yeah. I don't even want to keep talking about it because it's too scary, you know? It was Aaliyah. Okay, that's what I was going to say. I thought it was. No, I'm not. I mean, I don't think I'll be doing a vlog on Ted Kennedy. Unless I get to Chappaquiddick, I absolutely will do that vlog. I think he got away with murder in that case. Yeah, Randy Rhoads was a heartbreaker. Yeah, rest in peace, Randy Rhoads. I will be in Utah sooner than later. My plan was to yeah, you're right. Gwen Shamblin, that's right. That plane went down too. No, my plan was if I go out to Vegas was to stop in Utah on the way back or on the way there. So hopefully that will happen sooner than later also. I'm right now, so much has been going on. I'm just kind of planning month by month. Mainly the reason I'm doing that is because the last time I took off on a trip to do vlogs, I came back with 30 vlogs like ready to go. And it dawned on me, I'm like, oh, I meant to come home with like 12 or 13. So I end up filming more while I'm on my trips than I plan on it. And I don't want to release the videos every day because I don't think people get notifications if I do that every day. So they can't keep up on it. Especially like some people, there might be 20 people that you watch a morning. Depending on how many different YouTubers or how dedicated you are to YouTube, you might watch so many people you can't keep up every day. So I just think, for me personally, posting a video every day is a bad idea. It basically stops YouTube from circulating them. But I think I'm going to call it a night. We've been on here for an hour and a half. And Thurman Munson, Audie Murphy, absolutely. That you guys, like I said, there's countless people that have passed away in planes, so I'm even though I know I can pass away in a car just as easily, I think at least then I have a little bit of control of some of it. I think hopefully. But yeah, thank you. And I will post for anyone that was part of the early part of the stream where I was talking about the book. I will post below the link in the comment section to the book and the discount code for anybody that wants to get it. It's really cool, super thick, really beautiful. Like I'm really amazed by how beautiful it was, and I just I couldn't believe that we as a whole, the channel, got some recognition out of it. So thank you all for being a part of this and helping Steve Keene get art out there and for buying it and being cool people that like cool stuff. That's what makes doing videos for me fun, is when I get to share stuff that I think's cool and people that have never seen it before come back and go, oh, I'm really into that now too. Like that makes doing this channel fun, because that I know, I'm doing something that maybe somebody else isn't doing, and that's the goal of this always, is to not have the same channel as everybody else out there, and to make it a little different and make it fun. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow when I take you back to Nashville. Good night.